Welcome back to Studio 4 on Fast Time Willy B. We'll be reviewing The Breakfast Club for Breakfast Club Day. Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
Russell!
Welcome back to Fast Time Willy B. I'm Willy B. I've got Rosie with me. How we doing today?
Good, excited to be reviewing this one.
So, happy Breakfast Club Day to all that don't know. March 24th, 1984 was the day that our 5 friends sat down in detention at Shermer High School. And to celebrate it, here on March 24th, we're going to do a review of it. Came out February of 85, so celebrating its 40th anniversary this year of release, we thought, what a great year to do it. So we'll be talking about Breakfast Club, directed by John Hughes, one of the greats in my eyes when it comes to directing. Cast-wise, we all know him, we all love him. We got Molly Ringwald, we got Emilio Estevez, we got Judd Nelson, we got Anthony Michael Hall, and we got Ali Sheedy as our big 5. We'll start with the good.
Go ahead.
And I think we're both going to agree there is no meh or bad category with this film.
No, I don't think so.
So we're here to talk about the entire movie in this good category. It's a staple of the 80s.
For sure.
An icon of pop culture.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't seen The Breakfast Club, you
At least have heard of it.
are either under 5 years old and just haven't gotten the chance, or you have terrible family and friends. It is just... It's one of the greats, you know? John Hughes, a legend of the game in my eyes. Anything he is a part of, I typically enjoy, if not love. And this is one of the ones I would say I love. Starting with the casting. We got a chance last year at Steel City Con, which was pretty cool, to meet 4/5 of the Breakfast Club. Unfortunately, Emilio Estevez was not in attendance at the convention. We got to meet Molly Ringwald. We got to meet Ali Sheedy. We got to meet Anthony Michael Hall and Judd Nelson, both of whom were fantastic to talk to. They really took time to
get to know you.
Conversation. And Anthony Michael Hall, definitely was a fan of Rosie, and we got a photo with them. It was just a really good weekend getting to, hang out with 4 of the 5 people we've seen in this movie we've loved for how many years, And it was a heck of a weekend, and it's crazy to think back to this movie and then compare them to as you see them as adults now.
Yeah, they're all
Anthony Michael Hall does not
different.
look like he would be the nerd or the brains as they call him in this movie. And then Judd Nelson, who's just the greatest guy ever. He's he's the criminal in this movie. And so it was really cool to meet them, but just great casting. I can say, and I feel like most people would agree, all 5 of these characters I don't think would be what they are without these 5 actresses in these roles.
It's hard to picture any movie you love with a different cast.
Yeah.
Because then it really wouldn't be like that, even with TV shows.
Yeah.
You sometimes you get to see now with social media the interviewing. I watched one on The Office about different actors and actresses doing their interviews and I'm that it would be so weird to see for example The Office. I just watched it.
Yeah.
With different cast members, because that is so iconic.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is one of those movies that we love together, so having a different cast, and it might not have that same effect, but we wouldn't know, we wouldn't be missing,
Yeah.
So I think they all they mesh well together, all very, very different people in the movie, and they end up having a lot more in common than they think, so.
For sure. Obviously, we see Molly Ringwald and Anthony Michael Hall and Ali Sheedy sprinkled throughout other Hughes movies and just other Brat Pack movies, as they say. Emilio Estevez, too. Emilio Estevez probably, you could say, had the most success outside of this film. You have Mighty Ducks. Even before this film, you had The Outsiders that he has a role in as, in that family with Ponyboy. But in this movie, Judd Nelson, he might be my favorite, and he probably, didn't go on to do as much as the other four, or
Right.
He was in St. Elmo's Fire as well with the other Brat Pack. But I love Judd Nelson. I think Judd Nelson is the perfect Bender. Bender is my favorite character in this movie.
Yep.
He's just the do what he wants. He's not going to listen to you. He's above the law. He doesn't care what you have to say. And it's all spurred from, obviously, a tough home life. But
I think he has the best dialogue in this movie as well. He has a lot of good one-liners.
He has the best arc, too.
Yes.
Because he goes from the beginning where he's, just a jackass to everybody to the end where he kind of gets soft. And then, obviously, he gets the kiss and the earring from Molly Ringwald, from Claire, yeah. And it's a pretty good, throughout. I feel like he's the best roller coaster to fall in this movie. Not taking away from all of them. I mean, I really enjoy seeing, Sporto kind of break down when he's, talking about why he's in there. And then you got Brian, Anthony Michael Hall, he's just, he can't pass shop. And then he's, crying because he has all this pressure. And then he finds out they all find out it's a flare that went off in his locker, so they have a laugh about it. And, you have Ali Sheedy, who's just lying the entire movie, and it's fun.
Yeah. She's fun. That's a fun character.
But they all have their quirks, and it's just what makes the group so much fun.
For sure.
Good dynamic, because they all are very different, but like you said, at the end of the day, they all are the same.
Yeah.
And
they're all there for something.
That's the beauty of this movie. That's high school. I mean, you go through high school and you have all of your cliques and all of that, but at the end of the day, you're all just kids that are, some are going home to tough home lives, some are going home to great ones, but there's a lot of people that have similar situations. You just don't know it because at the surface level, you're a wrestler, you're a prom queen, you're a criminal, and so on and so forth. And I just think that's the beauty of it, is that detention is a place that brings these five unlikely kids together, and
For
it leads
sure.
to the spur of two relationships as well. But this is just, I'm you and I both are huge fans of coming of age movies, and this is just one of the best coming of age films to ever be made.
Yeah, I think this is I think that this one 10 Things I Hate About You are definitely the two that got me into coming of age movies. Anytime we even like now see a new one in the theater, I'm like, oh, definitely going to see it.
Yeah. But like I said, one of the best to do it. But it's fun, from the start of the day, and you've got Principal Fernan coming in, and he's giving out all bunches of detentions to Bender, the screws loose, the fire hazard, Bender's separation, the running through the halls, the playing back, trying to get a scholarship.
My favorite, that's my favorite scene, is them running through the halls.
Yeah.
Because that's like kind of when they really like have more dialogue like together, and I feel like they're like on a mission together.
Yeah.
And because prior they're all just sitting in the library, but now they're together, and I think they're like kind of figuring out a little bit more about each other along the way.
I think the best scene in the movie is definitely like after they smoke and they all kind of start talking about
when
how
they're sitting
they got
on the floor.
there. Yeah. And you got some tears, you got some laughs. I think that's the best scene in the movie, like just the most meaningful. My favorite's probably when they're dancing.
Yeah, on the tables
while they're smoking.
Yeah.
And then you get the scream that breaks the window as well. That's iconic. Set design, fantastic. Shermer High School. We stay mostly in one room outside of the hallway and gym scenes, but that library's one of the most iconic sets in cinema.
Yeah.
If you ask me.
I agree.
So, you get with the statue that Bender's sitting on while he's banging his head back and forth. You got the staircase that's fun to look at while Molly Ringwald's doing her dance. You got them on top of the bookcases. It's just, what a library.
It is quite, I mean, this movie isn't one that has like a lot of set design really or much of anything. So, they really used like the library, because Bender's even like he crawls up and up on the second story, and they really use like
the entire thing,
the entirety of it. So that's kind of cool. Instead of them just sitting right there on the first floor. So
another scene I gotta mention too is when Bender's telling how his home life.
Yeah,
Dad,
the back and forth.
How about you?
You really get to see like all the feels
Yeah.
in this movie because, I mean, it is sad, Bender's life story, and then you personally you connect with at least one of them.
Yeah.
In the crew, so that's kind of cool. I think I think a good coming of age movie is when you can relate to at least one person in the movie.
Yeah.
And I think having all those different click categories in there, you can relate to at least.
Who are you?
I don't know.
I feel like I was a combination of Sporto and Brain because I was obsessed with sports,
Mhm.
loved playing baseball, but I also was definitely a nerd.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
But yeah, it's so good. Third act, fantastic too. That's as we start figuring out that the start of the third act's really that them all sitting on the floor and having that group heart to heart. But then after that, you've got the makeover, and then Bender and Claire have their little heart to heart. Wow, Sporto and I can't think of her name. Ali Sheedy's character's name. We've seen this movie how many times?
I know. She's so quiet.
But, we see them kind of fall for each other.
Mm-hmm.
And they all leave the school and they all go their own ways. We get, kisses and hugs and whatever else you want. And then we probably get the most iconic still image ending
Oh, yeah.
to a movie. And that's Bender throwing his hand up to Don't You Forget About Me by the Simple Minds. By the way, it's the Simple Minds, Don't You Forget About Me. Also, the perfect song for this movie.
It is. Every time it comes on, I think about this movie. And I think even before seeing this movie, I've seen that still shot. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, Breakfast Club. But, like,
walking across the
before I seen it, I even knew. So, like, that's iconic in itself.
Yeah.
And before we even seen it, like, I've known the title of the movie, and I probably could, put that still image in there. So, I mean, pretty iconic even for those that haven't seen it.
Yeah. Love the Bowie quote at the beginning, too. Kind of just talking about, teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
And Ali Sheedy was the one that gave John Hughes the idea with that. Pretty cool. And I also love that we get a little bit of an arc on the janitor and Principal Vernon as well, because they have a little conversation. It's cool to see, like, the principal's perspective. Like, kids have no respect these days. And he responds with, kids are the same, you've just changed, because that's what happens when you grow up.
Mm-hmm.
You start getting you get more intolerable to kids.
Yep.
I mean, I'm 25 and I'm like, God, those high school kids. But at the end of the day, I was probably the same way.
You were them, yep.
And so that was a really good scene as well. And, him saying, I don't care if I'm liked, and him saying, yeah, you do. Him just calling him out on his shit. Just another good scene in this movie, because this movie's really about the kids, but that's just a scene where it's, at the end of the day, it's also coming of age for an adult,
Yep.
But what a movie. It's shot well. John Hughes has great direction once again, as he does in most of his films that I watch, especially coming of age. It's just a fun teenage movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it never gets any worse every time I watch it.
Definitely not. It's one of those movies you could put on, well, for us, of course, as like a background movie, but you end up sitting there and watching the whole thing.
It's definitely high replay value.
For sure.
We're going to hop over to our final thoughts and ratings. What do you want to leave off with The Breakfast Club, and what do you give it out of 10?
One of my favorites, of course. My favorite genre. It was cool getting to meet most of the cast. Mm-hmm. So that kind of has a special place in my heart for that reason alone. I mean, we didn't have anything in the meh. We didn't have anything in the bad. So you can't not give it a 10 out of 10.
I mean, I'm not going to delay this. It's a 10 out of 10.
For sure.
It's one of the best. 85, a great year. Can't believe... actually, I'm excited. I should say that it's 2025, because we should be getting a lot of these movies in theaters for 40th anniversary. We already got to see The Goonies in theaters, which was awesome. I'm holding out for The Breakfast Club, Back to the Future, give me Return of the Living Dead, give me Fright Night. I'm down for all of these. Please re-release some Cinemark. But 40th anniversary, it's worth getting to talk about this movie for a minute. And on Breakfast Club Day, nonetheless.
All right.
41 years ago today, they were in detention.
That's crazy.
So, March 24th, an iconic day in film history, to say the least. That'll do it for the Breakfast Club, Rosie. Thank you for coming on.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you all for watching. If you like what you're watching, check out some other videos. Hit the subscribe button or follow the social links down below. Happy Breakfast Club Day to all of you. Go out and watch the movie in celebration. It's always worth the watch. We'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.
Peace and love.